the non-commitment to true villainry. I need that villain. I'm still waiting for that villain that comes through and has no reason. They're like, why are you doing this? Because I can. I just want that guy. Where's that guy at? Because I can. I just want it done. I'm doing it because you can't stop me. I need a bully. I need a real bully.
Like, what's up? What is it with New Jersey niggas always needing a bully? why does everybody have to be a fucking bully? Like, why can't just be a guy who's nice who happens to have a void that he kills people with? You know, and,
I feel not so much with Sentry, but I do feel like they do try to alphabetize a lot of their villains, like make them all
alphabet.
Yeah, like they try to make them all like Wicked, like, oh, the Wicked Witch isn't actually evil, like, or like Thanos isn't actually, he really wants to save the world, or save the universe, but it's marred in such and such. Like, that really, all of that started because of Wicked and Elphaba, like the musical.
Oh, Michael, come on, we can't let you do that, brother. It did not start because of Wicked, okay? Let's keep it real. Like, this
I don't mean the Wicked movie. I mean, when Wicked, the book, when it first came out and it became popular.
Which was when?
And like, when did Wicked come out? In like the 90s?
Okay, because I remember a character by the name of Anakin Skywalker who was casted to us as a villain for 3 straight movies, and then we got 3 more movies where we learned that maybe he wasn't so bad. So I mean, the concept of villains not necessarily always being what they were portrayed as originally isn't an original concept. But I do want to say, first of all, Ty, if you think we're gonna let you get away with talk about Superman 4 and the fact that Sunman took his girl to the moon. he flew his girl to the moon where there's no gravity, no oxygen, no like air conditioning, and he just flew into the moon. And him and Superman were fighting on the moon while the girlfriend was standing there on their side on the moon. I'm gonna let you just bring that up. Like that made the movie fucked up. Like even me as a child, I'm like, wait a minute. Are you gonna fly this lady into outer space, sir? No spacesuit, not even a jacket, a scarf. Can she at least get some pantyhose or some socks? She's on the moon in a pantsuit. Am I the only one who remembers?
No, I remember. I never said it was a good movie. I didn't say. What I said was you might not remember Superman 4, but the villain in the movie was Nuclear Man.
I do remember the villain. I was like, oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Look, down to like it's so like if you put them side by side, it is so uncanny. But Nuclear Man had blonde hair, deep blonde hair. It is the same exact thing with Sentry. Their colors on their actual costumes are exactly the same color. It is so uncanny. It is very. You're like, come on, man. So I get it, and I just wanted to address something in the comment section because our comment section is
maybe Sentry was inspired by Nuclear Man.
He probably was. I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know, but because I mean, Sentry, he was created like 2000, so
it would make a lot of sense because Marvel. We know how Come on, Wonder Man, Wonder Woman. I mean, come on, let's not go down the whole Captain Marvel. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. All right, and how originally Captain Marvel was a DC, which makes no sense. And I know it wasn't with DC; it was with another. Anyway, go ahead, man. Go ahead, continue.
All right, so this is the comment that I wanted to address by Fernando. You said Thanos and Killmonger are the only real villains in the MCU, and I would 100% disagree with that. And this is why I have such a problem with Marvel. Remember, Thanos' whole reasoning for collecting the stone was so that he could basically kill off a percentage of the world so that things could be better in his eyes.
Yep.
And the same thing with Killmonger. Killmonger's whole thing was he didn't like how black people in America was being treated.
Yep.
There's these reasons that you can kind of feel. You can feel with somebody. You can be like, well, I don't know. Is he really bad? I don't want that. What I want is a clear, uncut villain. You know who we can all agree was a real villain, and there was no room for, and I'll say this 100%, my number one villain of all time is who, Yaz?
Ultron! Fucking Ultron! Just saying.
No, that wasn't. My all-time villain. I've said this before, so I figured you remember. But Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Is an all-time villain. This motherfucker wasn't shit, and we all hated him. There was not one person that was out here like, Joffrey's not such a bad guy. No, we all hated him. When Joffrey died, we rejoiced. We celebrated. We shot fireworks. We were outside like we hadn't been outside all year. We were like, yo, that comes. Yo, we was ready. We was all. So I need some of that Joffrey energy in the MCU. I need a villain that we can all agree we hate him. And there's nothing about him that we like. We hate him. And I need that. I need Marvel to stop thinking everything is a goddamn joke. Cause shit ain't funny. Shit ain't funny no more. I need a villain, a real villain that's out here killing unconditionally, unremorsefully. He's just out here just killing babies, ladies, anybody who get in their way. Look, there was a moment when that little girl was about to get crushed, and I was excited. I know. It sounds crazy. But when they start killing kids, I'm like, oh shit, we done got there. We there. We're there. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the part. That's the one real gripe that I have about Thunderbolts, have about Marvel as a whole, is they're not willing to kill kids. I feel like as soon as you start to kill the babies, we're there. I know it sounds strange. It sounds crazy. Yeah, I think. Listen. I am going top tier villainy. I'm not. Listen, we're not. When you go top tier villainy, Joffrey never cared who he killed. He didn't care. Anybody could get it, and that's when you're at top tier villainy, when there is no differential between a child, a woman, or a man. You're killing everything that opposes you, period. Homelander is another one that almost is there, but then you start to see they show you these things that you're like, oh, he was made this way because they treated him so poorly, they locked him in a room, and then you start getting in your feelings. Well, anybody would be like that. I don't want that. I don't need that. I need you to hate this person to the core of your being, so that when he or she meets their demise, there is no wavering. You're like, oh, I'm so happy they killed him. Yes.
But also to be fair to that point though, which I feel you, like the Joffrey and all that other stuff, like I want that too. But also like part of me kind of gets why they don't do that, because audiences are stupid. To put it blunt. So like bringing up two examples, like you bring up Joffrey and then somebody else brought up Homelander. Look at the reaction that people give to those two characters. There's a reason that the actor that plays Joffrey, part of the reason he quit acting is because of his portrayal of Joffrey, he was getting like death threats and people saying stuff about it's like he's a fucking actor. Like Joffrey isn't real. It's a character. Or you look at people like celebrating Homelander and saying Homelander is a hero and all this other stuff. Or even like you watch You on Netflix. Part of the reason Penn Badgley didn't want to do the show anymore because people were rooting for his character, and it's like, no, this guy is a fucking villain.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
we're going to talk about The Last of Us later on. Like whenever spoilers for that, because I'm gonna bring this part up, but we are going to talk about it. But like when the video game came out and Abby killed Joel, the voice actors were getting death threats. So like when you get people that portray like these villains or good cat, a lot of times like people are stupid. So like, in some ways, these movie companies like tend to hold the audience's hand because for whatever reason, critical thinking skills are in the fucking toilet. Like when I review movies and talk about things all the time and concepts and all that other stuff, like how many people, like I'll mention something, I can't think of an example, but I'll mention something. People are like, well, actually, that's not what I fucking said. Like if you actually listen to what I said, you would actually know what I'm actually talking, or pick up a book. Like if I bring up Sinners and talk about the connection of blue. Oh, actually, perfect example. I was talking about Sinners and I mentioned how the character of Remick, I thought it was perfectly sound that Ryan Coogler cast Remick as an Irishman. And when you think about the Irish people and black people, we had a lot of camaraderie. Like the term mulatto came about because black people and Irish people were intermingling and having sex and creating partnerships and relationships a lot. And so the child of a black person and an Irish person was called a mulatto. But then when Irish people started to delve into whiteness, they started to when they became white, because originally they weren't white. They were called white niggers or Negroes turned inside out. But so I mentioned that in my review, and somebody's like, how dare you say Irish people were never white? Irish people were always white. No, the fuck they weren't. Whiteness is a concept, and Irish, Hungarian, Polish, all of that stuff, they weren't accepted.
Italian.
Like, so like people are just dumb. Like a book would easily tell you that. So like, I feel you in terms of like wanting to get an actual villain, but like sometimes when you do get that, audiences react in a way that's like, come on, like grow the fuck
I got
up.
the
Like,
solution for that. The solution,
not real.
The solution for that, Black Gay. The solution for that is Michael. You make them digital. Like Thanos ain't had no problems finding a job since he snapped his fingers. Josh Brolin has been just fine. But Josh
Brolin had the privilege of not actually being on.
Exactly. I was just fucking with you. Go ahead, Ty.
I was just gonna say this, Michael. You're right that people are dumb, but people are dumb regardless of what you do or don't do. Like that's so when you have a young lady like the girl that just did Snow White, also getting death threats, and she's not a villain. She just played a character as well. There are always going to be people that dislike things and have problems with things. But if you are moving in a way that is dependent on the reaction of the audience, then we'll never get real good writing of villains. And I feel like Joffrey may have gotten death threats, but at last I checked, he's still breathing and walking around. A lot of those people that.
But now he works at Wawa, and he has no future in the world of acting, because people haven't been able to disassociate the character that he played with who he is in real life. I think that's the point Michael was making. But
no. I know the point that he's making. I'm just saying that when it comes down to your mental health, and I think that has a lot to do with why Joffrey is not working. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that people can't disassociate. The man killed that role. So as from an acting standpoint, he did his damn thing. I just think that maybe, it had such a significant effect on him mentally that maybe he's not in that space. And that's cool. That's fine. I get it. But when it comes down to it, what I'm saying is that there has to be a clear somebody in the room that says, let us go a little bit further than we did the last time. Let us, like, each time take an inch closer to the villainry aspect, to the point where you finally get to a Galactus who is a being from another world who kills everything and destroys everything and has no problem. And then you get to villains like what's his Null from the Venom series, from Venom. And who is also supposed to be evil incarnate. So
we gonna find out Galactus was abused by his father. His mother left him.
I hope to God not.
When they was on his planet, they didn't feed him as a child, and so when he became a cosmic entity, that's why he's eating planets, because it reminds him of that he didn't get when he was a kid. That's what we're gonna get with Galactus.